People who say money can't solve all problems clearly say so because they don't have enough money to solve them. This sentiment put forth by Ariana Grande is something that all of us have felt at some point in our lives. Despite our different tax brackets, finance and economy is one of the pillars that a country stands on, and when that pillar is broken down, the downfall of the country soon follows. For Brazilians, when the talk about finance and financial problems comes to the surface, there's one name that is brought up over and over again: Nelma Kodama. For her, dealing with currency in the black market was a game where if she won, she would win it all, and if she lost, she loses it all. The stakes of her game were just that high. And when she finally got out of jail, she decided to break her silence in the Netflix documentary Nelma Kodama, the Queen of Dirty Money. Let us explore this beautiful documentary and the colorful person it is based on. Before we go into our explanation, we have a very small request. If you like our content, please support us by subscribing to our channel. This is a small click for you, but for us, it means a lot. Thank you. Let's begin.
What's up, Dollar Dealer?
Dollar Dealer.
Who is Nelma Kodama? Now, allow me to tell you about the queen herself. Nelma Mitsue Penaso Kodama was a businesswoman of Italian and Japanese descent. What her life was before the roller coaster started rolling is not really known. But what we do know is that eventually, she showed up on the scene of black market currency trading. In 2006, Nelma Kodama first made her debut as a name in a financial scandal when the exchange house she worked with was found involved in a money laundering investigation. Yes, I'm talking about the infamous bingo scandal that took place during the Lula government tenure. It was said that Valdomiro Diniz, who at the time was an advisor to the Minister of the Civil House, was extorting money from businessmen to fund the Workers' Party. Nelma herself thought that being a dollar dealer, the one to exchange money, was a rather opportune thing. Selling money and buying money with nothing but your code of honor is an exciting job indeed. Perhaps that is why she didn't immediately quit after the close call of 2006. In her eyes, it was a game with high stakes, and she enjoyed the thrill through and through. Her involvement in financial scandals became even more prominent in 2014 when a certain Operation Car Wash, was carried out. For those who don't know, Operação Lava Jato was a huge corruption investigation undertaken by the Brazilian government. The case didn't begin that big though. It started off as an investigation against the executives of the leading state-controlled oil company in Brazil, known as Petrobras. It was said that these executives had accepted a lot of bribes in exchange for contracts of various kinds. As the investigations continued, it was found out that there was a lot more to it than first met the eye. The main hub of this money laundering was a car wash and gas station, which led to it being named Operation Car Wash. Several top politicians, executives, and prominent figures were implicated as the investigations went on. Odebrecht was one of the Brazilian companies that was marked for being a part of this scandal, and it was found out that their laundering operations were not limited just to the country of Brazil. It had, in fact, gone up to the international scales. Now, with all of this background about the operation, you can surely understand just how big of a scandal this was. In 2014, when the investigations were going on full-fledged, Nelma Kodama was caught when she tried to board a plane to Italy with 200,000 euros stuffed in her underwear. She was convicted for the Petrobras scheme. In 2016, she signed a plea bargain and got out of prison, but remained under house arrest after she reached an agreement with the Federal Public Ministry. But you might wonder, what did she do that led to her being incriminated? Let me tell you more about it in detail. The case of Nelma Kodama. The bingo scandal highlighted Nelma's role as a money changer back in the day, someone who was responsible for the dollars for the Workers' Party. At that time, Celso Daniel was the mayor of Santo Andrew, and Nelma was appointed as the dollar dealer by Tonino Barcelona. This Tonino Barcelona was none other than Antonion Claremont, another money exchanger who gave her name away. As for her role in the Petrobras case, it was a bit different. During that time, Nelma Kodama was having an affair with Alberto Youssef. Alberto Youssef was identified by the investigators of this case to be the main guy who created the systemic corruption in Brazil. He was the one who did most of the grunt work, from making calls to dropping off money to taking large sums of money and traveling to the other side of the country to deposit the said money. It was estimated that Alberto Youssef moved around roughly 10.4 billion reals in the Petrobras case. As Nelma Kodama was a money changer, she joined hands with Alberto Youssef in the Petrobras case. When she was questioned about her relationship with Alberto Youssef, she sang a bit of Robert Carlos's song, creating quite a bit of controversy. Kodama was nefarious by the time 2015 rolled around, when it became known that she was connected with the former judge Joao Carlos de Rocha Matos. The police immediately made their move. They did a search at the house of Celio de Rocha Matos, the judge's son, under the suspicion that he was working with Kodama. Turns out Celio was the international operator for Hong Kong. His role was exposed when Lucas Pace Jr., another member of the gang, decided to cooperate with the court and give out names. Out of the entire Kodama gang, there was only one person whose identity remained hidden and managed to get out of this scot-free. There was a computer expert on the team who used the fake name Fernando Souza. They played a big part in the financial transactions of this case, but as they made sure to leave no trace of themselves, the police were unable to apprehend them. What happened to her? After Operation Car Wash, Nelma Kodama was sentenced to 18 years in prison. Her charges were currency evasion, active corruption, working with a criminal organization, and operating a regular financial institution. But despite her charges, she is out of the prison now, and she decided to sit down and talk about her life in the Netflix documentary Nelma Kodama, the Queen of Dirty Money. What's it all about? Directed by Joao Weiner, this 94-minute documentary is one hell of a ride. This documentary brings all of the deets presented as something fresh to the table. Usually, when you have a crime documentary, the people talking in the documentary are either the ones who reported the crime or the ones who knew the criminal and worked on the case. But when it comes to this documentary, things are vastly different. This documentary is told from Nelma Kodama's perspective by Nelma Kodama herself. Seeing her sitting down in front of the camera wearing her best clothes and jewelry with a fashionable hairstyle and cuddling her dog makes you really wonder if she truly was the one behind all of the scandals. She genuinely looks like a sweet lady who's talking about how much she loves jewelry and her life, which with a cheerful background music really brings her guard down. That's why when the scenes of her in jail wearing the orange jumpsuit show up, it feels bizarre and a bit shocking. She doesn't look or act like the most prominent black market currency trader who had upturned the Brazilian government with her scandals. Instead, she looks like this self-assured, confident businesswoman who was simply minorly inconvenienced by the ankle monitor around herself. The documentary truly showcases Nelma Kodama's best qualities, and I mean it genuinely. She is neither dismissive nor deflective of her crimes. She knows what she has done, and she takes a lot of pride in it. She's extremely charming, and it shows from the way she talks about her operations. We all know she's talking about laundering money, but the way she talks about it makes it sound like it's just another high-profile business that she built up from scratch. While the corruption cases were a grim part of Brazil's history, seeing Nelma Kodama so proud of her work makes this show an interesting watch. Marvelous verdict. Movies or documentaries about financial scandals are always fun to watch. There are so many layers to the plan to successfully pull off a financial scandal, which can go south at any given moment if one of those layers, or a small part of that layer, fails to work just right. This documentary about Nelma Kodama is no different. But what sets this story apart from every single other one is the star herself. Her relationship with the people around her, and the way she explains her work with such vivid imagery, is enough to draw the attention of the viewers and make them feel like they are not even watching a documentary about one of the greatest scandals in Brazilian history. If you enjoyed How to Rob a Bank, then you will definitely enjoy this documentary as well. And if you liked our content, don't forget to leave a like and subscribe to us if you haven't already. Have a good one and be safe. Thanks everyone.